What's up, great people, and welcome to this week's episode of the Fabe Effect podcast. I am your host, your boy, Fabe, and I'm excited about this week's topic. This week's topic is one that is vital to progression. It's one that is vital to different stages and parts of your life. This week's topic is the company you keep. The company you keep. I'm sure we've all heard it beat into our brains by parents, by mentors, different people. Be aware of the people you have around you. Be aware of the people that's in your circle. And it's so real and it's so important and it's so vital in order to get to where you're trying to get. And I know a lot of times you think friendships start young, you grow up, you have those people in your life for so long, you feel like these are your lifelong friends. But sometimes those people were meant to be in seasons of your life. You know, sometimes those people were meant to just be in your high school times or your middle school times. And sometimes we take people into stages, into levels, into chapters in our life that they should have not been had the afforded ability to be in. But it's okay because Fabe is here and I'm going to give you some steps and some advice on how to reevaluate and evaluate the people that are around you and make some hard decisions sometimes in order to get to where you're trying to get. I think back when I was leaving for college and I started to think about what was next for me. And I knew that I wanted to go away to school to not rebrand myself or change who I am, but to just be who I am. A lot of times in high school and middle school, we are bound by peer pressure, and we have, times where we're trying to be who we are, but our surroundings or the people we have around us won't allow us to be that. So I was excited about just really being who I was fully, authentically, and just really starting over in terms of my surroundings and the people I have around me. Now, the thing about that is you start realizing that the people and the friends you had in high school, that if they're not going to college with you or they're not going to the next place with you, you try to figure out, what am I going to do about this friendship? Is this friendship something that I want to keep going, keep holding on to? And I had friends in high school. I had a lot of people around me, but it was really only two strong friendships that I really wanted to keep going in my life. And I had to realize, one, that the distance may play a part in our demise, or the distance may play a part in how they interpret our friendship anymore. And I had to be okay with that, because a lot of times we're not okay with how people perceive us, but you have to be okay sometimes with whatever story they come up with, whatever lie they need to tell themselves to sleep at night. Sometimes we have to just let them do that and be okay with being okay that they're not okay. You have to be okay knowing that someone else is not okay sometimes. And so I had to do that. But there was two friendships I wanted to definitely keep close. And so when I got to college, we get in college, we started to make friends, we started to be around other people. And those two friendships did suffer because we didn't talk a lot. And you realize how much you don't have in common. You realize sometimes how the surroundings or the environment you're in is what you have in common. And then when you get into another environment, you realize how much you really probably don't have in common with that person. But I still wanted to make sure the friendship was still there because I love my friends. And as time went on, we went two separate ways. We did our own thing and had successes and losses in life in our own way. But those two people know if they need me today, I'm there. If they need me tomorrow, I'm there. And vice versa. Now, did our friendship change? Yes. Did the way we interacted change? Yes, because we grew in different ways. However, we both still have a mutual respect for each other, and we both still loved each other. That's a good example. Now, a bad example could be where you go off to college or you leave home, and those friends and those foes, the people that were around you in high school, they may not look at you the same because what you're doing is probably something they wanted to do. And that's the first sign. And first sign when you need to probably reevaluate or take that person out of your inner circle is when people start to be jealous and envy something that you're doing because they're not doing it. Because many times people keep you in the place that they remember you. They keep you in the place they remember you in their head. So they don't necessarily want to see you in a different light. And if that's the case, you cannot risk your success on how people are dealing with your success. You cannot risk your success on how people are dealing with your success. So you have to sometimes move them to the side and say, I have to move on to this next chapter without you. Not taking away nothing we shared, not taking away no love that we had. However, this is where it stops. And I have to keep going. And you have to be okay with continuing your life without people. So that first tip is to keep going. Keep progressing. A lot of times, everyone's not going to understand your vision, your dream, your purpose, and that's okay. Keep going. When you're evaluating the company, you keep going. There's a saying that I'm sure some of you have heard that says, you want to know who you are, look at the 5 people you are most closest to. If you want to know who you are, look at the 5 people that you are most closest to. They would tend to tell the story about who you are because you are who you attract. Birds of a feather flock together. So if you're around a certain group of people for a certain amount of time, eventually you become those people. So what you have to do is always surround yourself with people that are going to progress you and move you forward and hold you accountable for what you want to do in your life. If the people around you are not excited, one, pushing you, two, and holding you accountable for the things that you want to do in your life, run. Run. Seriously, run, because those people do not want to see you get where you want to get. If people are not pushing you to do the things that you say you want to do, what are you wasting your time for? And yes, I do understand that there are different groups of friends. There are those friends you hang out with. There's those friends you kick it with, those friends you pray with. But be aware of those friends who are not holding you accountable for the things that you say that you want to do. Be aware of those friends that are not holding you accountable of the things you say that you want to do. So when you're evaluating the company you keep, you have to be okay with letting people go and keeping them out of your life. And you have to be okay with making sure that people are holding you accountable. Be aware of the people that are not holding you accountable, that are saying, YOLO, bro, you good. Let's just do this. That's it. You ain't got to do that. If they're always agreeing with the thing that you're saying opposite to what you should be doing, it's because they've decided that as long as I keep this person here, as long as I keep their mind off of that, they won't ever get ahead of me. So be aware of the company you keep in terms of how they hold you accountable of what you say that you want to do. And the other thing I realized about people, and I was just talking to my little brother about this, one thing I realized about people is a lot of times people are broken. People are going through so many things personally that they don't even realize they're doing wrong or they're doing wrong towards you. They don't really look at what they're doing as hate or as hating on you. They say little things like, I mean, if you don't get it, what you gonna do if you don't get it? Or they say little things like, yeah, I mess with it. But it's cool. Watch those terminologies that people say when they try to minimize your success. They try to bring it down like, oh, how's that? How your little business going? That little word. Watch that little word. People love to throw little in front of things that are going on in your life. How your little project going? Yeah, I saw you was working that little. Watch that word, because it's emotion, it's feelings, it's hurt, it's pain hidden in those words. So I'm saying, yes, give people grace, but gracefully bow out. Give people grace, but gracefully bow out. Feed them from a long spoon. Mess with them from a long distance. But when they start minimizing what you're doing and bringing it down, those are signs that says, this person is not for me. This person don't want to see me succeed. And it's okay. I got a text the other day from one of my friends. And she said, why do people get upset at you for not having the time that you used to have, or why do people get upset that you were not doing what you used to do with them? I told her, I said, people get upset because, one, you're messing up their familiarity. You're messing up what they're familiar with. You're messing up in their head, their routine. So when things are going different than what they're used to going, especially with people in their lives, people get nervous. People start thinking like, oh, what's going on? What's about to change? What I'm about to go through? Or something about to happen. So a lot of times they're up on the defense first. And then if they notice, okay, you're doing something else, you're spending time in something else, you're focused on something else, there's a little jealousy that comes in. We're human. We naturally get jealous. What stops that jealousy is honestly praying and staying focused on what your goals are. But we're naturally jealous people. So we have to be aware of that natural jealous energy that we give off. And so I told her, I said, so give them grace, but don't allow your peace to be broken. If your peace is starting to break, you need to take some steps back. Surround yourself with the people that are for what you are for in terms of your success. We're not always going to agree on politics or things that go on in the world, but they need to agree with you on what you want to do with your life. And if they don't agree, they need to be honest with you up front. That honesty piece is so true, it's so needed, and so vital in terms of the people you keep around you. If your friends cannot be honest with you, they're not your friends. If your friends do not want to see you succeed, or if your friends are not loyal to you, they're not your friends. Sometimes we give out that word so fast. We give out that word friend to so many different people. Oh, that's my friend. That's my friend. Is it? And it's okay if it's not. Don't be so quick to give them that title. If friendship is something that you're serious about, or relationships is something that you're serious about, be guarded when it comes to giving out those words to people and those responsibilities to people. Because once you say friend, you've put them in a category, you've given them some responsibility in your life, and they didn't sign up for it. That's another point I want to make. Make sure your friend agrees with being your friend. Make sure your friend agrees with being your friend. Because you can be giving them all this responsibility in your head. You can be thinking this person owes you this, owes you that, owes you this loyalty, owes you this trust. And they didn't even know that you were friends. So be very cautious on the people that you give that title to. Your surroundings, the company you keep matters. I'm going to close because, I want to make sure that you have a great day and you're able to go apply these things and that you're listening to the whole podcast. So I'm going to close with this. Oftentimes, we want more out of life and more out of people than what they're willing to give. Oftentimes, we expect ourselves from people. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be hurt because of people and those around you. It's okay to be in a place of dysfunction sometimes because you're trying to figure out who you are. And when you're going through those times, when you're going through those moments, distance yourself. Give yourself some space. Give yourself some time to really heal, because oftentimes hurt people. And so even you have to take responsibility as a friend, as a person in somebody else's circle. When you're not doing well, communicate that, and then take some space, because you don't want to walk into any other space and disrupt it and do things that you didn't even realize you were doing because of what you're going through. One thing I love about that Tabitha Brown says, she says, try to have yourself an amazing day, but even if you can't, don't you dare go messing up somebody else's. So in closing, not only do you need to make sure you're aware of the company you keep, make sure you are good company. I hope that helped you. I hope that helped start the healing process for you. I hope that allowed you to rethink about the people that you have around you and take it seriously about the people that you give your presence to. I love you. I hope God keep you. I hope you have an amazing week. And I hope you tune in next week to the Fabe Effect podcast. Next week, we're going to have a special guest on, so I'm excited about that. Continue to tune in every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I love you. Remember, the best leader works to make even better leaders. God bless.